In this video, I'm going to cover 5 ways you can get richer than an average athlete. It doesn't matter if you have any experience or any money in the bank, I'm going to give you the exact formula. I was very little when I made this business's work and it actually paid out for me. So I'm making this video so you can learn, and it's actually possible to get richer than some of these athletes with these businesses. What are the 5 business models we're going to be talking about today? But first, if you're new to business, let's be really clear of what a millionaire actually is. We've got cash millionaires which have actually over $1 million in their bank, cash liquid. We've also got book valuers, which is a tally of over the assets such as shares, real estate, and company values. Believe it or not, having $1 million in book value is very easy. I wish I can cancel saying that, but in this modern age, there are so many ways to make money and you can invest over time. But for today's episode, we're just going to be talking about book values. So we're going to be talking about what you can achieve if you sold your business at certain levels. Let's get into our first business that can make you richer than an average athlete. 1. Learning a high income skill. For most people, this is where you need to start. If you have no money, no experience, you need to start building up those skill sets, and this is the perfect way to do it. You don't need any fancy marketing degree. All you need to do is go onto YouTube, study how to do these skills, and then start selling services to small or medium-sized businesses. This can make you anywhere from $200,000 to $1 million a year in just a couple of years. And now, some of you may ask, $200, it cannot really make me richer than an athlete, maybe a footballer, because I mean, some of these footballers actually earn $200,000 weekly. Yes, that's the game. The game here is consistency. Yeah, that's the game. That's the word, consistency, because most athletes could retire between 30 to 35 years, and from there, they literally have nothing else to do with the rest of their life. And at this point in time, some of them are college dropouts, some of them have no skills, some of them can do literally nothing except, play the football and one thing or the other. And now that is where you get the cheese. That is where you strike. You're consistent in your business for the next 5 years compared to today, 35 years. Trust me, all you need is consistency. And at 35, when they get retired, you are still moving on and you're going to beat them. The next business that can make you richer than average athletes is actually buying other businesses. This is how billionaires actually do that, getting huge amount of wealth. Lots of people think it's impossible to buy business when you're just getting started. They're wrong. This is Josh Kim. He's amassed a multi-million-dollar fortune by buying businesses with no down payment. And he's only 20 years old. He made over $800,000 in his second deal, all while he was at college. Not many people talk about this business model because it's not as attractive as creating the next innovative app. It's also really hard to source deals. You might need to talk to tens, if not hundreds of sellers to get the perfect deal where you have little down payment. How does that work? Let's say you have a laundry business. Behind owners of the business, one are retired, they want to get another business. They might not be desperate for that money upfront, but they might be desperate to stop working. Let's say, for example, this business is making about $50,000 profit a month. Once you have the sale price of the business, you can actually go to the bank and show them all the financials and say, I want to buy this business. Well, what would the loaner pay? The bank then give you money to give some of the portion upfront to the seller, and then the seller can actually finance the rest of it. Let's say you're buying a business for $500,000. You may be at the purchase of 40% of the business upfront, and then the remaining 60% will be paid over the following 2 years. This way, your bank is financing a portion, and also the seller of the business is also financing a portion. If the loan or payment is only around $16,000 and the business is making about $50,000, then you've got a great gap here to operate the business and pay the seller back. The third business that can make you $1 million richer than athletes is starting a digital agency. This is very important, especially for the young people that understand algorithms and are doing social media marketing. It's an easy way to scale up your skill by high paid clients. One of the most successful digital agencies was created by Steven Butler. It was called Social Chain. It went public on the stock exchange and got valued at over 186 million euros. I personally was going down this path before I started my business and YouTube. I was shooting things for Polaris Studio, sunglasses brands, and all I had was my camera. I would shoot videos, I would create websites, I would launch the apps myself. This is how I learned all my skills and allowed me to scale up e-commerce businesses later in life. What I would recommend in the early stages is picking one skill to learn and you go after the clients. This allows you to build training manuals. Let's say, for example, you're doing email marketing agency. You can charge clients $4,000 a month to set up one of their emails and continually send campaigns ads on a month-to-month basis. You can then hire a graphic designers for $10 to $20 an hour using Upwork or Fiverr. I know some agencies that are running at 50% that margin, but let's say for this example, you're running at 30% that margin. If you can just bring in one new client every month for 15 months, on that 15 months, you'll be creating $60,000 revenue a month at about 33% margin. That's about $20,000 profit in your pockets. That's almost $240,000 a year. If you're able to sell that agency, that will be 5 times multiple, 4 times multiple. Agencies sell anywhere from 3 times to 7 times. You would have $1 million cash value. So what's the catch of this business? It is actually really hard to get good in place at a cheap rate for the agency. We have to spend a lot of time making sure that your training is up to date and you manage this stuff accordingly because you need to provide value. The next business that will make you richer than athletes is probably the most common ways in which people become a millionaire. It makes thousands of millionaires a day. It is real estate investment. I believe you saw that coming. People's houses appreciate in consistent rates that put more money into their house and which increases their book value or their asset value. You may probably be thinking, I don't have enough money to get started with real estate. This is why you need to start creating these other business models so you could get a little bit of cash from the bank so you could allocate it accordingly. You don't believe me? This is Zeng. He went from working at KFC earning $6 an hour to having a property empire of over $6 million. He started by saving $80,000 to put on down payments on 2 properties. He looked for really good properties and did them up, renovating the floor, the painting. He flipped the first house for $200,000 profit. This is what's commonly referred to as house flipping. When you buy a random property, do some changes and sell it at a profit. Now remember, real estate can be really hard. Doing those houses, you need to actually organize it in a way that investors will really love it or buyers will really love it. Now, people who I know that are actually making it in the real estate business, you could see Downlock. I don't know if you actually know Downlock. You could actually talk about Grant Cardone to Iman Gadzhi to Andrew Tate and the most of them. Now, these are guys who are actually cashing out from the real estate businesses. And I believe they actually earn more than a lot of athletes out there. Trust me, you need to invest in the real estate business. Now, remember guys, I'm actually doing all this study because of you. So please make sure you like, subscribe, and turn up post notifications. That's the only way in which you support me. Thank you. Now, the next business in which you should actually be invested in, which is the best for young entrepreneurs, which is selling products online. When I went through a lot of e-commerce businesses, you see a lot of things in which you can sell online. And actually, when I did some of these businesses, I made over $100,000 the first year. E-commerce is great. You can learn the business completely by yourself, which means that you don't need to hire staff and things can stay simple. You can work as much as you want. And don't forget, the reason why you actually want to make millions of dollars is freedom to travel around the world, happiness, and a lot of that. E-commerce allows this. To get started in e-commerce, all you need is about $500 and you could be making profits just within 14 days. The first step is you need to get the product maybe from Alibaba or TradeRocket.ia or Amazon. Second step, you build a Shopify website, and then you're just going to look for a way to drive traffic, advertisers through either TikTok or Facebook ad, or it really doesn't matter. You just need to build your craft. If you pick the right product, it really can change your life. You could skyrocket quickly. I know a person who actually does online marketing. He has been doing the business for over five months, and actually throughout the 5 months, he started 5 months ago, he has actually cashed out over $90,000. And these are the business in which you can actually earn really much more than athletes. And now another business in which I would actually want to include is cryptocurrencies and forex trading, in which, as you know, I deal in this sector very well. Is something that you can actually earn millions from, even more than athletes. But I think I'm going to talk about that on a separate video, guys. So like I would always say, the best time to start is 20 years ago. The second best time to start is now. And guys, support my channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in another video.